Hey guys, I'm back. Alright, so today's video is going to be a full face of first impressions, trying out new makeup. A lot of these are new releases and some of these have been out for quite a while now, but I haven't had the chance to try them. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And before we get started, if you are not subscribed to my channel already, then go ahead and take this time to click on the subscribe button and also click on the bell button to get notifications whenever I upload so you never miss a video. And without further ado, let's just get straight on into the video. Alright, so I did not have any new eyebrow products or primers to try out, so I already did those things, but the first thing that we're going to be going into is the foundation. And the foundation that I'm using today is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. And this is supposed to be a full coverage foundation. It's not a dewy foundation, it's a matte foundation. And the packaging on this reminds me a lot of the Clinique 2-in-1 foundation, which I really love. That was one of the first foundations that I ever purchased, and I still use it to this day, even after trying so many more foundations. But one thing that I do have to say is I always found that these kind of applicators are a little bit unsanitary. I mean, I don't think that on concealers for some reason, but I do think that on foundations, because you're just picking up a lot of bacteria and dirt and oils and you're just putting it back into the foundation. I honestly really prefer like the squirting kind of foundations, kind of like this one where you just squirt it out onto your beauty blender and that's it. All right, so to blend out the foundation, I'm going to be taking my Japanese sponge and just starting to blend that out. And the first thing that I notice is this foundation is very easy to blend. I'm barely pressing with my beauty blender. So this is on the first layer. It pretty much covered up most of my acne scars and active pimples that I have going on, but it is showing a little bit through. So I think I'm gonna go in with another layer of foundation. So after the first layer, I think that this is pretty good for people who have pretty clear skin, but I'm going to go in with a second layer just to definitely cover everything up. And I'm only putting that second layer where I feel like I need it the most. So kind of like I do with the Clinique 2-in-1 foundation, I just used the first layer as my foundation. I just went in with a second layer and used it kind of as a concealer. All right, so my thoughts on the foundation, it is definitely full coverage. It did cover up all of my acne scars and acne, but I do notice that it is definitely starting to settle into my fine lines and my pores, and it's really emphasizing my dry texture in my skin. I have very dry, acne-prone, sensitive skin, so it's very hard for me to find a foundation that doesn't do that. But I did recently find one, and this is an honorable mention. This is the Too Faced Do You foundation, and this foundation makes my skin look so good. The only problem that I have with that foundation is it does have added scent into it, so if you're very sensitive to fragrance, I don't think that foundation will work for you, but it does give you a really full coverage dewy finish. So with this foundation that I just applied, if you do have really dry skin, I would probably stay away from it, but if you do have oily skin to normal skin, I think that this foundation would be really amazing for you and you would really like it. All right, so moving on from foundation, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is concealer. And the concealer that I'm trying today is the Flesh Beauty Hide the Evidence Double Concealer. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, one side says cover and one side says correct. I don't know what the correct side does, but I am going to go into the cover side and just use that as a concealer and apply it everywhere that I would normally apply concealer, which is my under eyes, on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, upper lip, and my chin. And taking that same sponge that we used for the foundation, we're just going to take the clean pointy side and start blending that out. Oh wow. Okay, so this concealer left me a little bit shook because I always thought that Flesh Beauty was for the girlies that don't need to wear makeup and have like perfect skin already. But this proved me wrong. This definitely gave me coverage on the under eyes and it definitely did brighten up the areas. So I do really like this concealer. I do feel like she's not a full coverage concealer though. She could have definitely covered up a lot more than she did. All right, so before the under eyes start to crease, we're gonna go into our setting powder and just apply that all over the face. And this is the Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. And I know that there's been a lot of controversy around this powder. I don't feel the need to explain what the controversy was. I feel like everyone already knows about it, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to give you guys a review on these products. So I was just taking a dirty Real Technique sponge. I'm just going to apply that on the under eyes and really press that in. And then taking a bigger fluffy brush, this is the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill JH01 brush. I'm just going to pick up the rest of the product and apply that all over the rest of my face. Honestly, I wouldn't trust my opinion when it comes to setting powders because I really never see a difference when it comes to setting powders. I think that this looks just like every other setting powder that I use. So moving on, we're gonna go straight into contour. And what did I have for contour? Since I don't have a new contour to try out, I am going to be going into the foundation palette, or the...
Do I look like...
the eyeshadow palette I'm trying out today, which is the Emily edit from Makeup Revolution. And I'm just going to be using the shade Courage as a contour shade. And going into my Morphe R14 brush, I'm just going to dip into that a little bit and tap off the excess. Alright, so overall, I think that this shade in the Emily Edits palette is very good for a contour shade. Even though it's supposed to be an eyeshadow, I believe, it does work well for a contour. Alright, so next we're going to be moving into blush, and the blush that I'm going to be using today is Apricot in the Act from Too Faced, and this is part of their Tutti Frutti collection. How cute is that packaging? Look at that little peach. And this is what it looks like. It's not too pink, not too red. It's like a perfect in-between. To apply that, I'm just taking the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill JH04 brush and dipping only into the blush side. And I really like to bring my blush to my nose and kind of blend it in with the cheek blush. And that really makes it look like you just stepped out of the sun, and I really love that look, especially for the summertime, even though it's almost about to be fall. All right, so I really like this blush color. I think it's very pigmented, so you don't need I think that this blush is very pigmented, so you don't need to use a lot. A little bit does really go a long way. So I definitely recommend this. I tried out the whole entire Too Faced collection, which I filmed a video on, and I never uploaded it. I wasn't happy with it, and I felt like it was too late for me to upload it because everyone else already uploaded theirs. I think that they were all pretty amazing products. Moving on. All right, so I'm going to save highlighter for last because I don't want the highlighter to kind of get lost throughout the rest of the makeup process. So the next thing that I'm going to be going into is eyeshadow, and the eyeshadow palettes that I'm going to be using today are the Makeup Revolution ones. This is the Emily Edit Needs palettes, and this is the Once palettes. And I'm going to be starting off with this one, just building up my transition and crease colors, and then I'm going to be using one of the shades from the Once palettes. I actually saw Kathleen Light's review of these palettes on her video, and I really like the eye look she did, so I'm going to be trying to recreate that today. And before we start applying any foundation, before we apply any eyeshadow, I first wanted to try out the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor 0.5. I've heard a lot of great things about this, and I've been so excited to try it out. So I'm just gonna take my finger and pat that in. And apparently you don't need to set this eyeshadow base. Going into the Needs palette, I'm just going to be dipping into the shade Joy with my Morphe M441 brush and applying that right in the crease. I can't tell if this is the eyeshadow or the base, but I'm really loving the way this eyeshadow is applying. So next we're going to be dipping into the shade Honesty, and this is on a smaller brush, which is the Morphe E17 brush. And we're just going to be focusing that on the outer corner, and then we're going to start blending it in towards the inner corner, but we're not going to go all the way. And now dipping into Faith, which is a more brown nudie color, we're just going to be using that same brush and basically doing the same technique, but we're going to bring it a little bit lower just so that that shade Honesty still shows through a little bit. And on the under eyes, I'm going to be dipping back into the shade Joy, which is going to act as like a transition shade. And taking that same brush, we're going to be going into the shade Faith and just applying that all the way in. Alright, so next we're going to be dipping into the Once palette, and Kathleen put a little bit of the shade Grateful right on her lid, and I thought it was so pretty, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Just taking my finger, I'm going to be picking up some of that shade and pressing it on the lid. Ooh, and these shades apply so pretty with the finger. And last but not least, we're going to be going into the shade Oh Heavens, and just taking that on my pinky finger, I'm going to be applying that on the inner corner. Overall, I really do like that eyeshadow palette. I love the colors in it, and I love how easily blendable they are. They apply very pigmented. I think I'll have to play with it a little bit more to get my final thoughts on it. Alright you guys, so I just applied mascara. I went in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So now we're going to be moving on to lips, and first before we apply the lipstick, I am going to be applying a lip liner. And this is the Makeup Forever Multi-Use Pencil in the shade Wherever Walnut. Alright, so the lipstick that we're going to be using today, I'm so excited to try out. This is the Flesh Beauty Fleshy Lips in the shade Yum. And this is what the packaging looks like. It's just like a normal lipstick. One thing that I do really like about this lipstick is it does give like a lip glossy type finish. Alright, so now for the best part. We're going to be going into the highlighter, and I was going to try the new Diamond Ball Out highlighter, but I'm a little bit scared because I don't want it to give like a silvery cast. But since this is the first impression, I am going to try it. And this is what the packaging looks like. It looks like all her other ones, but just with a silver color instead of white. Taking a clean highlighter brush, this is my Morphe M501 brush, and this is my favorite for applying highlighters. I'm just going to dip into that a little bit because we don't know how she applies it yet, and just, wow. Oh my god. I'm gonna try to blend her out to see if she gets better. I was really excited to try out this highlighter, but it is giving me a silvery cast. You could even see it when I turn to the side. There's like that silver around the shimmery part. And then when I turn forward, it just looks pretty much gray right here. It looks a lot better on camera than it does in person. But we're going to be trying another Fenty Beauty highlighter, and this is the 7-Day Weekend and Poolside Duo, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Since I already have a little bit of a silvery cast, I think I'm going to dip into the shade right here, which is 7-Day Weekend, and we're going to try that one on the other side. Okay, I definitely think that this one is a lot prettier. Even though it does have a pink cast, it could easily blend into blush, so it looks like a shimmery blush. And just because we're trying new things out, I am going to dip into the Poolside shade right here and apply that on my chin. Ooh. Is this supposed to be a highlighter? I could have sworn the Kilowatt foils were supposed to be highlighters too. Alright you guys, so this is the final look. After trying out all of those products, I'm just going to do a quick little review. I really love the foundation. I think that it's not good for dry skin. I have dry skin. I think this would be a lot better on people who have oily skin, but I still might use it in the future. Try to find a way to make it look a little better, maybe by using like a more moisturizing primer or a lot of moisturizers before I apply my makeup. The concealer, I feel like it could have covered a little bit better, but it still was a pretty good concealer. But that's probably just because I'm used to using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, which is really full coverage. Powder, I didn't really see a difference because I never really see a difference when it comes to setting powders. The blush I really loved. I love the color and I love the pigment payoff. For the eyeshadow palettes, I think that these are really great. I'm definitely going to be adding them into my products that I use all the time because I really love the colors that they have and I love how easily blendable they are. The Kilowatt foils, I never see a use for them. If they're supposed to be highlighters, they give a cast, which I don't like. And if they're supposed to be for your eyes, I don't think I would ever use these, honestly. Maybe, actually, you know what? Poolside, the purple one, might be really cute if you just swiped it on your eye and give like a little holographic effect. But I don't think I'll be buying any of these. And last but not least, I really love the lipstick. Like, it's not tacky at all, but it still doesn't look too matte and like dry. But I tried one of the fleshy lips in the past and I really liked it, so I'm not surprised. Alright, so that completes the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you would like to see more videos like this in the future, then please let me know in the comments. And in the comments, also let me know, what product are you guys excited to try out? What are some first impressions that I should test out in a future video? And what else? Alright, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go take off this makeup now and crawl into bed for the rest of the day. But I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.